Hello. I guess welcome to my totally not biased tier list of the relegation mods. Yeah, these. I fucking hate this relegation a lot. Uh, I hope Game Freak never makes this relegation a thing again. I, God forbid, hope the next one isn't just two fucking legendary mons. But yeah, we'll get into it, right? Because everyone loves legendary Pokemon right now. I fucking hate this thing. So, anyways, we'll get right onto the I guess list. But yeah, at number ten we got Kyurem White. Kyurem, I've tested it a bit. It's pretty good right now. I think it can definitely have a place in the meta. It's pretty bulky in the snow. Those blizzards do hurt a lot. It's basically just Articuno, just better. Does have a lot of counterplay, unfortunately. I guess, obviously, Incineroar being the main one. But yeah, it's good. It's very good. I don't see an issue as to why you might not want to use it. I guess the preferred thing you'd want to run it is like Life Orb with Terra Stellar is actually not bad. Or you can just go straight with like a Terra Ice, Choice Specs angle, but you always gotta bring a Alola Ninetales with this thing. Gotta pair it, make its fucking defense even higher than it already is. Maybe let it live like one Urshifu close combat. That's a lie. It's not living one Urshifu close combat. God forbid it can live fucking Koraidon Collision Core. Yeah, but it's good. It's good. It's not too bad right now. I like it. I like it. I've had my uses with it. But yeah, moving on. Number 9. The fucking biggest fall off in history, I guess. This fucking dog is so shit. Oh my god. I mean, it's still Zacian at the end of the day, but it's not as good as before. It fucking fell off hard. I think I was playing I'm playing ladder, and this thing hit my Indeedee, my non-defensive Indeedee with a +1 Behemoth badge, and it did like 70%. I think the calc is wrong on that, but like the thing has fallen off so hard. Like, not being able to get the Intrepid boost on each switch in, like the stat nerf wasn't enough already. They just had to be like, yeah, we're gonna change your ability as well. We're gonna make it so that Incineroar hard counters you even more than it already did. Like, this poor dog, but it's well deserved. It was Gen 8 gives me fucking nightmares whenever I see this thing, but I mean, it's still good. It's still going to stick around in the metagame. It's going to have its moments. For all you know, it may even win a regional. But it's going to be very difficult, especially since a lot of other mods have risen up that kind of counter this, which we'll get to. But the biggest example being probably Calyrex Ice, because it just Terrafires and this thing can't do anything. But even then, Miraidon probably one-shots this with a Terra Electric Discharge of all things. But yeah, it's still gonna have its moments. It's not. It still puts up enough offensive pressure to where it's good. But I just personally think other mods in the your restricted slot can be used for better. But fuck this thing in Gen 8. I am so glad this thing got nerfed. I don't want to see it get buffed again. But yeah, moving on. We got the turtle. This thing does not fucking die. Like, oh my god. I don't know. I forget what its HP stat is, but this... it just doesn't die, it feels like. This thing sets up on you with one Calm Mind. You're not doing shit. Unless you got Urshifu choice banded. It's just not doing anything. Like, obviously Urshifu is the biggest counter to this, for sure. But, like, it just eats everything. Oh, you want to use Miraidon? Yeah, it turns off its fucking ability. You want to use Kyogre? Oh, just make it so that it's not very effective to the first water spout and then does damage right away to put Kyogre's damage or output lower. Like, it's still it still has a lot of counterplay, obviously. Any Wyguard Mon is gonna hard wall this thing because of Terra Starstorm, and if you just want to use the regular version, like the non-Terra version, you're kind of just subjecting yourself to a weaker base power move. Speaking of which, this thing basically just takes up a Terra slot. If you want the full potential of this thing, you are gonna have to Terra it, unfortunately. But I still think it's a healthy part of the metagame being able to turn off weather, or not weather, terrain. And I think it'll have its moments. You know, you just gotta look out for the Urshifu and matchups. You gotta look out for all the wide guards going around. But besides that, I mean, it'll have its time to shine. I'm pretty sure actually at the end of like relegation G in 2024, it was probably, I think it was top 5 or top 6 at least in terms of usage in one of the regionals. I just can't remember which one, but I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll be pretty good. But yeah, this fucking monstrosity, like. like Groudon wasn't already falling off in Gen 8. It's like Game Freak just said, yeah, let's introduce another Sunmon, but then give it a boost to its fucking attack upon switch in, by the way. Oh, Zacian, you wanted to switch in and get a plus 1.5 attack boost? Well, welcome to the Mon that sets up fucking Sun to boost its Flare Blitz. Then give it a fucking 1.3 boost every time the sun's up. Yes, it's only 1.3, but it's still a boost every time it switches in, pretty much. Like, if this thing's only bad part is that Intimidate is a hell of a fucking ability to use against this thing. I mean, you can run Clear Amulet. I think that's probably the item you want to use on this most of the time. But it's just that its typing holds it back a lot. Dragon fighting is not that good of a type in general. Obviously your biggest weakness is fairy, but then you also gain a weakness to fly, and you keep all the dragon type weaknesses. You're also gaining another weakness into Psychic. I think this typing has at least 7. Is it 7 weaknesses? Like, the typing itself doesn't complement one another at all. But yeah, it's not the greatest typing. Obviously, you're usually just gonna Terrifier this thing, be immune to Will-O-Wisp, while also being immune to, like, other things, but then it just makes your rain matchup even weaker at the end of the day. Like, one Urshifu in the rain is gonna fucking surging strikes this thing in the rain, and it's gonna fall over and die. It's still gonna be strong though. You're setting up the sun for all the other photosynthesis mon, mainly Fluttermane, but it's because I can honestly see it. I can see it putting in work. The thing is, would you rather have like Torkoal that kind of like keeps you to set up the sun for like another like slower photosynthesis mon, like Raging Bolt? Well, Raging Bolt's about average speed. What's considered average nowadays? Like, I'm pretty sure average nowadays is actually like 100, which used to be like a pretty solid speed stat. But nowadays, I mean, 75 is. Or 74, I'm pretty sure, is Raging Bolt's speed stat is relatively slow. But yeah, I mean, you can run Torkoal with Raging Bolt in a Trick Room setup, and then you will still have that restricted slot for a probably better restricted mon. But yeah, I mean, Koraidon is still Koraidon. It's still gonna do a shit ton of damage. It's one of the restricted mons that doesn't need to worry about Incineroar. But anyways, yeah, next one is Kyogre. Speaking of which, Tornadus' partner in crime and also enabler of the Surging Strikes mon. This fucking thing is survived power creep. Congratulations, my boy. Congratulations. You survived power creep. It's probably because Game Freak didn't decide to add in something like Koraidon that would steal your sight. Like, imagine if Miraidon put in, instead of electric terrain, it was water and boosted special attack and gave it water spell with 405 base speed. Like, I honestly probably wouldn't play this game if that was the case. Like, well, not really this game, but just skip this relegation in general. But yeah, I mean, Kyogre's still gonna do good if you do see the shit Ninja, which guess what? It's not around. Gen 9 makes sure that Shedinja wouldn't be around for this thing to come back. And that's probably one of the reasons why it's still pretty good. I'm not sure if in the national dex like version of Shedinja if it does get Y-Guard, but I'm pretty sure it does. Let me double check on that actually. Let's see. Pokemon Showdown. Let's see, does Shedinja get Y-Guard? If it does, then that's fucking retarded. Let's see. Huh? Let's think of any. Oh, why is it all illegal? Marafangulo. Where's National Dex? Hell yeah. Let's see. Why is Shedinja OU? Anyways, Wide Guard. It doesn't get Wide Guard. Hell yeah. It still gets Ally Switch. But anyways. I mean, Kyogre is just pretty straight, like, pretty linear. It's gonna get Tornadus is going to set up the Tailwind, and then it's going to go for its Water Spouts. It's pretty much what it always does. But I do think currently there's just a lot of counterplay to it. Like, Miraidon being the biggest one is very strong into Kyogre because it always eats a Water Spout, even if it's like Terra Water Choice. I'm pretty sure Miraidon would still live on like 10 HP at least, or 10% HP, and then just one-shot it. But even then, I think like one of the biggest like counters be in the metagame, obviously being Raging Bolt, Thunderclap, obviously just gonna bring this down to like 40%, and then Water Spout's not gonna do anything. And even then, like all the Wide Guards going around kind of make it so that Kyogre is forced into either Ice Beam or Thunder, depending on the set. But it's the only Rainmon that's actually good in the metagame. Some people might prefer Pelipper over it, and then bring a different restricted mon. I think back in Relegation G there was Wide-Guard Pelipper in the rain, and then you pair with like Archaludon plus like Calyrex Shadow Rider as its partner, or even Zacian, I think. But yeah, it's gonna stick around in this metagame. I've seen a lot of it. It's still strong. Rillaboom and Raging Bolt still counter it like it used to. But I think most Terra types on this thing are Ghost, surprisingly, to stop Fake Out, which makes sense. So if you want to get into the metagame and want to use an easy, pretty straightforward mon, just go with the Kyogre Tornadus pair. Well, it's not a lot that can stop it right away, except for Rillaboom and what's it called? Raging Bolt. And if you see them, you just pair them up against like other mons like Incineroar. And then Incineroar kind of just stops the other two. This is why competitive Pokemon is so unique, I guess, because it just goes back and forth. But anyways, on to number 5. We're going to be going into the top 5 with... oh, fuck. Lunala. Pretty surprising, actually. You know, I actually used... maybe I'm a little bit biased here, but I actually used Lunala in my 2024 Reg G team to hit, I think, 1,600 on the ladder. And honestly, it's super good. This thing has a lot of good utility. It has a good offensive pressure with Meteor Beam. And it's also just a great Trick Room setter with Shadow Shield. I mean, it gets Y-Guard. Its Terra Fairy Moonblast sets are also really strong because it stops Wicked Single Strike Urshifu and Incineroar. And then it probably one-shots them right back. And the good thing about Lunala is you can pair it with other Trick Room mons like Ursaluna, like regular Ursaluna. I think that's probably its best Trick Room answer, because the difference between Lunala as a Trick Room setter and I guess Calyrex Ice as a Trick Room setter is mainly just who you pair with it. Obviously, Lunala is a special attacker, so you are going to want that physical attacker, and what's it called? Regular Ursaluna is going to fill that role. It's the same speed tier as Calyrex Ice, so you do have to be careful of the speed ties, obviously. But Lunala can do what it does best in Wide Guard for the Ursaluna, and then does a shitload of damage back to the Calyrex. It also kind of forces Calyrex not to Terra Fire, or it depends, because it depends on what you want. There's Terra Fire and there's Terra Grass, there's Terra Water, there's fucking 2 million Terras for that fucking abomination of a Mon. But, I mean, I just think Lunala has so much going for it and moving on. Like, I would probably rate it as like an A tier restricted Mon. It's definitely worth using. Like I said, I might be biased. Put your thoughts, but yeah, well, it's just the first top 5. But this is where we get to the fucking worst of the worst in terms of game design and game balance Mons. Moving on to number 4. Actually, I lied. This is the case where game balance was definitely intended and for a good purpose. I love the fact that Zamazenta got the love it deserved, especially since back in Gen 8, it was probably one of the worst restricted mods you can have on the team. And then Gen 9, they give it one move, and this thing suddenly becomes, like, top tier. Obviously, body press sets are going to be its best. You don't even need to run a physical move on this thing, but definitely go with running Heavy Slam. You'll find that Heavy Slamming Flutter main, especially, is going to be very viable. I think normal sets you want to run on this thing is Wide Guard, Body Press, either Iron Defense or Coaching, depending on how you want your team to kind of go around, and then just run Heavy Slam. Personally, the one I use right now for Zamazenta is the Coaching set. I like running Coaching with other partners like Rillaboom, Urshifu, Incineroar, and even Girder. Don't ask about the Girder. I'm telling you right now, hidden tech, Girder. That mon is actually pretty good. Actually, but you run Girder with a different restricted mon that I'll get to. But yeah, it's good. It's definitely going to be probably top 8 in every single regional in the coming days, or the coming months, I mean. And even in NAIC, I can definitely see Zamazenta as being one of the top played restricted mons. Right now, there's not much that kind of counters it. This thing it just has it's going to be a staple on all balance teams. Provides that wide guard, provides that anti-Incineroar answer I guess. Also just does great damage in general to a lot of different mons like Urshifu, Rillaboom. It's always 2-hit KOing. And then obviously it's Terra Grass that's completely shut down Miraidon. And it's also one of the few mons that just has a naturally good matchup into into Calyrex Shadowride, despite Body Press not really hitting into it. Mainly just because of Wide Guard. But yeah, I mean, the reason why is because Calyrex Shadow Rider right now usually just runs Astral Barrage and Draining Kits, and then obviously Nasty Paw Protect. Also depends on the set. If it's a Choice Specs Calyrex, Zamazenta is completely shutting it down with Wide Guard, unless it wants to opt in for like Shadow Ball. But then you can just kind of like play around that pretty easily because Shadow Ball is just such a low base power. Well, it's not that it's low base power. It's just not as good, especially in such a bulkier format. But yeah, I mean, Zamazenta is gonna stick around. I love this thing, and I'm still debating if I want to use it on like my main NAIC team. But yeah, moving on to the top 3, we got the fucking horse. I fucking hate this thing. And like, if you literally went to me back in like Gen 8 before the DLC came out and told me that Game Freak was going to make this fucking abomination of a mon, I would have quit the game right there and then. I would have never fucking played this game. Like, what? Why? 120 base power spread move, no drawback. Are you fucking kidding me? Well, like, why? And then it gains a Moxie boost for special attack on KOs? Like, what were they thinking? Like, God forbid I can enjoy my time with my fucking Clodsire. Actually, Clodsire kind of waltzes, but besides the fact, this thing just does so much. It's the most, like, balanced mon in the, like, it just does everything. You need a support mod to stop Trick Room. Oh, you have Fast Imprison with Trick Room. Oh, you need a high damage dealing Pokemon. Oh, just use spam Astral Barrage. Oh, you need a sweeper. It gets nasty plot. Oh, but it's weak to dark moves. Just fucking Terra it. Terra Fairy. Draining Kiss. It's gonna heal the full. Like, this thing does everything. There's a reason why people just throw it into a team comp of, like, Incineroar, Rillaboom, and Urshifu. It's gonna work. It's gonna synergize. It's gonna do everything you need it to do. Like, if I'm gonna recommend a Mon to a new player getting into the theme, I am going to tell them, use Shadow Rider. The thing is just absurdly strong. It takes no brain to play. Oh, but you gotta work around Wide Guard. Fuck Wide Guard. Just pair it with something with Taunt, and then boom, you instantly win. Give it like a Whimsicott partner, or I don't know, put fucking Taunt on your Urshifu, which actually has been occurring a lot. Just don't remind me. It's lost me a lot of games getting taunted by a fucking Urshifu of all things. But it's just Shadow Rider. Like, if you're going into like a regional tournament with like zero prep and wondering what should be your restrictor mod, usually Shadow Rider is just such a safe option. You can build around it, whatever. Like, any mod can just build around it, honestly. As much as I hate it, I gotta give it credit to where it does help people get into this completely complex format, and kind of just exists, honestly, and you can't do anything about it. It's gonna do what it does, and you just gotta accept it. But moving on to the moving on to the next one, it's Miraidon. Like, have you ever wanted to damage calc a Miraidon? Like, here, let me go calc this and bring it. Let's put on the Pokemon calc. We're bringing it out. Let's see. So let's get a Miraidon. Let's go with a basic, like choice spec set. We'll put it to level 50 doubles, obviously, because it's VGC. And then what's considered a bulk? You know what? Let's use Blissey for an example. We're just gonna use a Blissey for an example. Oh wow, Electro just actually doing fucking nothing to this thing. What the hell? Oh, it's level 50. Oh, I'm like, wait, why is this doing nothing? All right. Terra Electric, boom. 2-hit KOs a Blissey. Choice spec, yeah. It's 2-hitting a Blissey. Now, that doesn't seem on paper. Let's take this set. What's considered, I guess, broken? Oh, let's use Koraidon as an example. Change it to level 50. Oh! You're telling me this thing can nearly OHKO it? And it's resisted? 100 special defense, 100 HP? Resisted. Like, it's absurd. It's literally just absurd how strong this mon is. The damage calcs and the damage stacking and everything is just absurd. Oh, if you want to make it modest and then put it in a tailwind mood, oh, boom. Your fucking thing just went up to 70% chance. Like, bro. Why does this thing exist? What other mons? Oh, Zacian Crown? If, like, it couldn't get any worse, by the way. Oh yeah, this is that Zacian. Whatever, Zacian, Zacian, I don't care. Turn it to level 50, and boom! What the fuck? 176% to 200. That's like a 4 times weakness of some Pokemon. This fucking mon, man. But yeah, I mean, this just shows that power creep is getting absurd. And not to mention, it just puts all the Quark Drive mons that are also pretty good, like Iron Hand, or Bundle's not bad, but you're not gonna really see much of Bundle. What other Iron mons are good? Deadass, maybe you'll see some Iron Valiant. That's actually one of the pairs I've seen Miraidon with recently, is pairing it with Valiant. It does get wide guard. It gets that fast encore. It still has taunt. It's just actually it's a pretty great support mon. It gets coaching as well if you want to pair it with like Urshifu or Landorus even. Because obviously with Landorus you can use Discharge on Miraidon, which is another thing you gotta look out for with this thing is Discharge. But yeah, I think I've rambled on about this fucking monstrosity, but we'll go to number 1, which I am not excited. Who can it be? Oh, but first, we have an honorable mention. Our best friend Groudon didn't quite make the top 10. Bring back its balls, please. This thing has the fall off of the century from Gen 7 being one of the, literally being like the top mon in any restricted format to losing its balls and dropping down to being abysmal. Even in, well, to be fair, in Gen 8, it still had its moments. It took very good use of Gigantamaxing. But in the end, it came to Gen 9 and Karada got introduced and completely replaced Groudon as a mon. I've seen people try making Groudon work. It just doesn't work. Any wide guard is going to stop it. And then it, like, that's the issue with Groudon. Its two most used ground type moves are spread. So any wide guard mon is going to hard wall it and then it's going to die right away. I've only ever seen it work once, and that's with like Iron Valiant coaching or just any coaching mon. But even then, it's still pretty weak considerably in the current format. But I have hope, you know. Legends ZA, Mega Groudon, just wait, I believe. But going on to the number 1, who could it possibly be? Drumroll. It's fucking Ice Rider Calyrex. Just fuck this guy. I'm using him right now. My current Reg G team, my choice of restricted mod is the Ice Horse. This thing is just stupidly broken. Yes, when you're one of the most broken mons in the format, you're gonna have a lot of people building to counter it. And even then, it's still going to do its thing. It's going to set up Trick Room. It's going to Glacial Lance on your ass, and you can't do anything about it. Oh, you wanted to use Incineroar with Intimidate to counter it? Oh, it has Clear Armor. Oh, it used High Horsepower. Oh, your Incineroar is dead. Oh, you want to use Wide Guard against it. It's just, High Horsepower is enough to do what it needs to do. It's this mod. And then, not to mention, the fucking defenses on this thing. Base 100 HP. Oh, that's not too bad. Pair that with base 150 defense, and then throw in base 130 special defense. Like, are you kidding me? Let's go back to the damage calc. Where is it? Where did I put the damage calc? Oh, I fucking got rid of it. Hold on. I'm going to show to you what this thing is capable of living. Let's see. Oh, Ice Rider. Let's just go with this. Fluttermane. You want to use a Life Orb Shadow Ball? It's doing 69 to 80! Oh, even better. Let's give it the choice specs. It's not even KOing it! And then it nearly gets KO'd by High Horsepower on its own. It's not even stab, because this thing has base 165 attack. Like, the stat spread on this thing is disgusting. Like, look at Rayquaza. They fucking made it so it had like 150 attack, but then gave it 150 special attack, even though it never uses a special attack. Like, then you look at Calyrex, like, stat spread, and it's perfect, literally. It's literally perfect. They made its special attack super low, so it's unusable already, like it was going to be. Make it really slow, so it's perfect in Trick Room. Oh, and then put everything else into bulk, so I can live everything. Oh, we were talking about Miraidon earlier. What does Choice Specs Electro Drift does? Oh wow, it's a 12% chance to KO, and this is Choice Specs. Keep in mind, it's getting boosted by Hadron Energy and everything. Like, oh, let's look at Koraidon. It won. Look at the choice cards. Choice Still, I mean, 62% actually is not bad, but you got to keep in mind that's getting boosted in the sun. What if there's no sun? Oh, it's doing 47 to 55. Not to mention, it's gonna tear fire into this thing, and then you're gonna be doing 23%. Oh, you wanted to use Terrapagos into this thing. Let's use Terrapagos. Actually, even better, let's use Harp Flame Ogerpon and give it Ivy Cudgel. How much is Ivy Cudgel doing? Oh, wow, it's actually KOing. That's actually kind of surprising. Wait, what? This Mon's broken! Oh, this is if it's Terra. I'm like, why is it doing so much damage? Oh, that's funny as hell. What else? Oh. Let's look at Calyrex Eyes. Or the other Calyrex. I'm pretty sure Astral Barrage will probably KO this. Yeah, it does, but as soon as it terrors, it's doing fucking 69 to 81, which you're always going to be terroring with this thing. Oh, the ultimate one, Kyogre. Let's do Choice Sparks in the rain. 80 to 94! It's living! Bro! Like, what the fuck? Like, yes, then you resist it right after, but it just lives everything. You know how I was going on about Terrapagos living everything? This is even worse. It's fucking worse. And God, I fucking love that I'm abusing it right now. As much as I hate him. But yeah, that's gonna be the list. I hope you enjoyed the yeah. Moving on. Bye. Ah! You guys didn't see the rest of the list. We are gonna get that